Hey guys, what's going on? It's MajiinBae. Welcome back to the channel. I am back from my trip to Florida. Excited to dive back into the world of Runeterra. We got some exciting stuff coming up. Most importantly, for me at least, I'm sure for a few of you as well, is the release of Jayce and his follower cards, companion cards, other Jayce-centric cards. I haven't gotten to play with them yet. There was the early access, which I was a part of, but I decided to play the PvE event instead because I really wanted to give that a shot. So this is kind of my first impression of these cards. I haven't looked at them too deeply, and I like to do this because I like to look back on them after like a month when they have solidified their place in the meta and see how close I was. So without further ado, here are Jayce and his supporting cards. Jayce is a 4-mana 4/4 from PNZ. Pretty good stat line. Nothing absolutely insane. A 4-mana 4/4 is like okay. That 5th point of health, if he had it, would be a pretty big deal. A lot of 3-mana cards trade with a 4-mana 4/4. Maybe not a lot, right? But like 3 and 4 trade with a 4/4 pretty easily. I'm thinking things like Sump Dredger, Grizzled Ranger. Wait, no, that's a 3/1 now. But you get what I'm saying. Like it's not an insane stat line, but it is very solid, especially I feel for PNZ, which often doesn't have the biggest stat lines. And then when you play him, you can grant him Quick Attack or Challenger. Now, that's a pretty interesting one, because as I just said, a 4/4 is not the biggest stat line. So, Challenger will be really good against decks with things like Mayor. I'm thinking like Mayor decks, you know, the Poppy Mayor decks, where you can go after the Mayors, you can go after the 1/2 elusive that makes the 2/1s. You know, that kind of stuff. And otherwise, you want to keep him pretty healthy because his abilities are quite powerful. So I expect Quick Attack to be picked probably a little bit more often than Challenger. We'll see the way the meta goes, though, because if it shifts away from decks like Scion and more into decks that want to play backline units, things like Ezreal, then I think Challenger gets a lot better. His level up condition is you've cast 2 6+ cost spells. When I level up, create an acceleration gate in hand. Excuse me, sorry, still jet lagged. So this is interesting because he doesn't have to see it, right? You just cast 2 6-cost spells at any point in time during the game, and he levels up whether or not he's been on the field at all. And then that's pretty easy. Before we get into Acceleration Gate, let's talk about how hard that is. Not really. I know most people are immediately going to think of Demacia when you think of Jayce because his level up condition is very similar to Lux. And you come with some pretty good Demacia cards. You have things like Back-to-Back, you have Remembrance, Judgment, those kind of things, which are pretty good. But immediately upon reading this, I thought, PNZ doesn't really have anything I want to cast at 6+ mana. I've checked. The best is like True Shot Barrage, and that's unfortunately not a great card. So Jayce's cards are going to have to be pretty good to make up for that fact, because he might be really good, maybe, I haven't gotten there yet. But even if he is, if the cards you have to play to make him work aren't good, he just won't be good. Period. But luckily, I think some of these 6+ cost cards are actually quite powerful. So when he does level up, same play effect, but each round, the first time you cast a 6+ cost spell, casting it on the same targets. What that means is it copies the spell. It doubles it. And that is absolutely insane. This is basically leveled karma for 6+ cost spells. For the first time each round, which is kind of nuts. The first thing I immediately thought of when I saw this level up was probably not something that immediately came to most of your minds, because it's a little weird, but I immediately thought of that card. I think it's a 7-mana card from Freljord that frostbites all enemies, and then if they have 0 power, like if they already had 0 power, you destroy them. So it would double, and the first time would frostbite them, and the second time would destroy them. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff that could happen with this. Doubling is pretty insane. Let's move on to Jayce's actual card, Shock Blast. Just to say, oh my god, I'm yelling so much, I'm so sorry. Shock Blast, 6 mana slow. Deal 3 to an enemy or the enemy nexus and 3 to another. This effect is very similar to Withering Mist. The deal to both in Shadow Isles. It's very similar to True Shot Barrage, but I think this is a way better card than True Shot Barrage. At least 6 mana and 7 mana is like such a huge jump. It's massive. It's such a big deal. And being able to go face for 3 is good. Still dealing 3 to something else. True Shot Barrage is just a little clunky, but I think this card, while not something I'd be stoked to put in my deck, like in general, when you combine it with Jayce and how he wants to play the game with these 6+ cost spells, and if you added in the Demacian Sentinels, the Mage Seekers, the ones that get better and bigger and give you things once you cast a 6+ cost spell, then I think this stock goes up tremendously. This card becomes quite powerful indeed. You don't need a ton of 6 cost spells to actually make like the archetype work, and I think this could definitely be a like 2 or even 3 of, possibly, if that archetype pans out the way I want it to. Next is the card that Jayce makes upon level up. Acceleration Gate. 6 mana slow. Give your allies +2/+0 and quick attack this round. If they already have it, give them a random keyword instead. So giving everything +2/+0 and quick attack is like fine. It's pretty good when you're attacking, I guess. It's definitely a win more card. But the second part is pretty important. If they already have quick attack, give them a random keyword instead. Now, if Jayce survives after leveling and you cast Acceleration Gate, it copies, right? Because of his static ability on level up. And so your allies will get +4/+0, quick attack, and a random keyword, which can be much, much, much more powerful. Plus, it's free, right? You level up Jayce and you just get this card. So I think it's quite good. Is it insane? No. You're not going to like just level Jayce and win every game you do that, but it's good enough to where it's a problem for your opponent. And if they're not able to deal with it immediately, it can really put the game out of reach. Once you do, let's say this happens on turn 6, right? Actually, it's probably not very likely. Let's say you level Jayce on turn 7. You have 2 extra units on board. And your opponent has to choose between killing Jayce or killing the rest of your board. Normally, they can't do all of that. If they kill Jayce, you can still cast Acceleration Gate, giving your other 2 units +2/+0 and quick attack, which could make for a very, very awkward combat step for your opponent. If they choose to kill your other units or develop their own board, Jayce is going to get gigantic. And you can get value from other things. So I kind of like it because it's like you level him up and you immediately get something that is really good to double cast, right? That's really good to use his ability with. And that puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. Instead of things like Lux where, yeah, you level her up and then you get like a 1 final spark, but it's not like that good. It's not like going to do much. Jayce has a more like, you got to deal with this right now kind of thing. Especially because I think once you'll see people playing Jayce more, a lot of the 6+ cards, if you can double them, they're pretty insane. All right, moving on. All right, so we have some actual like supporting cards here. These are the P&Z followers. Number 1, Forge Chief. Strike, refill 1 spell mana. This is a 1 mana 2/1 from P&Z. I think all the cards are P&Z. It's fine. I don't... It's a 2/1 for 1 with upside, which is the current like level you have to be at, right, to be playable as a 1-drop. Or you have to be a 1/1 with like huge upside. And this fits that bill. I don't want to play it. I'd rather play Zonite Urchin, right? Or depending on the deck, maybe Daring Pour or something else. I don't think this is it. It's like fine, but I'm not excited about it. Pharaoh's Financier. However, I am pretty excited about it. 2 mana 2/2 is a Conchologist range, and play manifest a 6+ cost spell from your regions. This effect is not... It's simultaneously less good than you think and better than you think. It's better than you think just because a 2 mana 2/2 that makes a card is insane. And P&Z has a lot of cards that make things play, but not usually full cards. Usually have cards that either make a like throwaway card, like a Mushroom Cap, or no, that's basically it. They make throwaway cards like Mushroom Caps, or they discard cards to draw cards. And Pharaoh's Financier, it's not just Financer, right? Because that's spelled different. Pharaoh's Financier, I don't know, gives you a real card. You manifest a 6+ cost spell, and that is incredibly powerful. We've seen how good Telescope and Conchologist are. The reason why it's less good than you think is because 6+ cost spells suck. They're bad, especially the ones in P&Z. You now have the couple that come with Jayce, and that's like super sick and everything. But I don't know if you played Mirai Great Mother, but like 70% of those cards are like not even cards you really want to cast for 3 mana. They're just not good. So yeah, a lot of times the cards you get Not going to be great, but they're free, and they're real cards, and they level up Jayce and maybe Lux if you're playing here, so not that bad. I expect this to be played in Jayce decks for sure. I just don't expect it to be like super insane. This next card is really interesting. It's a 3-mana 3/2 tech from PNZ. Hex Tech Handler. Quick attack. Give tech allies everywhere plus grant tech allies everywhere plus 1/1 once you've cast a 6+ cost spell this game. So this one's kind of confusing me because it looks like it's a summon effect, right? Like when it comes onto the field, if you played a 6+ cost spell this game, you grant tech allies everywhere plus 1/1. I don't know if it's like something when it's already on the board. Like, does it have to see you cast this? But I'm gonna be real, I don't really know. I think maybe it's worded that way to prevent you from abusing the summon like keyword. I don't actually like. Maybe I only get it once per unit. Because I don't know. It just seems kind of weirdly worded. But I do think this card is very good. I think this will slot right in. If you're going to do like a Jayce Heimerdinger thing. If you're not going to do a Jayce Heimerdinger thing, or Luxheimer, I don't think it's that good at all. Now, it does give itself plus 1/1. So it would turn into a 3-mana 4/3 with quick attack, which is like, that's a pretty strong stat line, but I don't know if it's good enough. Because it does start as a 3-mana 3/2 with quick attack and basically no upside until you cast a 6-drop, and I think there might be better options. So yeah, we'll have to see. I think as tech cards, as we see more tech cards, this will get better because there's just not a lot. There's like Heimerdinger turrets and then that 1/1 and that's about it. And now this guy. And so maybe we need to see a couple more tech cards first. The next card, Pharaoh Skycruiser. 4-mana 2/4 PNZ elusive. Grant me +2/+0. Oh my god, I am still yawning. I'm just jet lagged so bad. It's not good. The card, I mean, not the jet lag. Well, the jet lag's also not good. But this card it's not great. 4-mana 2/4 elusive is not good. And a 4-mana 4/4 elusive, while good, a 4-mana 4/4 elusive that you're likely not going to be able to play on turn 4 is not good. I think there's just better options, especially with PNZ, where you usually have these cheap spells like Mystic Shot, Get Excited, Thermo Beam, that you want to be using to like interact with the board and keep up tempo. Just like having to, in order to do this on curve, you'd have to cast like a 6-mana spell on turn 3. You'd have to go bank mana, 6-mana spell into Pharaoh Skycruiser, and that's not exactly the payoff I'm looking for. I think there's better options. I doubt this will see any play. Albus Pharaohs. Quick attack. When I'm summoned, draw Jayce. We have a Jayce boat. Attack. Deal 1 to the enemy nexus for each 6+ cost spell you've cast this game. Increase it by 1. It's a 7-mana 6/5, obviously from PNZ. Jayce boat. It's a boat. It pings the opponent's nexus, probably for 2, maybe for 3 on curve. It's fine. I don't think it's very good. So that kind of sucks. But it is a boat, and it's a 7-mana boat, so it's not like that bad. I do think it's better than Jarvan 3, because it has a little bit better stat line, and it is like, it does have a relevant attack ability and a better keyword. So it's not bad. It's just not great. There's the skill. Okay, this card is the one I am immediately excited about. Forge of Tomorrow, 3-mana landmark for PNZ. When I'm summoned, summon a Forge Worker, which is just a 3/3 dude. Very, very large dude. When you cast a 6+ cost spell, destroy me and refill your spell mana. So what this is it's a 3-mana 3/3 that when you cast a 6 cost spell, you refill your spell mana. It does take up a spot on the board, and that's not completely negligible, but that's the basic gist of it, and that's a very, very powerful effect. 3-mana 3/3 already passes the stat line test on its own, so that with a pretty significant upside is pretty sick. Also, it's nice to see some more PNZ landmark support. And to kind of complement that is a 6-mana card, slow assembly line, summon 2 Forge Workers. Again, it's the 3/3 dude. This is pretty good. This is a solid 6-mana spell for PNZ. Slow, makes 2 3/3s. Compare this to Unlicensed. The one that makes a 5/5, it's like the same cost, 6 mana slow, P and Z, and it makes a 5/5. That card is strictly worse than this. 2 3/3s is so much better than a 5/5. 2 3/3s is better than a 6/6, right? So yeah, this is way, way, way better, especially if you can go like Forge of Tomorrow into Assembly Line. You have 3 3/3s and you refilled your spell mana. Very nice. You're on your way to leveling up Jayce and all that. Next up, we have 6 mana Focus spell, Hextech Anomaly. When you draw or create me in hand or each round start, while I'm in your hand, transform me into a random 6-cost spell. So this seems like it works kind of like that one Poro that cycles through the keywords every turn. I really, really don't like this card. And the reason I don't like this card is because, like I stated earlier, 6-cost spells tend to suck, especially when they're random. So I'm not really a fan of this. I am interested to see if the spells it turns into keep focus speed, because Hextech Anomaly is focus speed. Does it keep the 6 mana cost? Like, I'm not really sure how this works, so that's kind of interesting. I guess we'll see. And yeah, that looks like it's about it. Just the 3 pages of stuff. The cards I think will make the biggest splash outside of Jayce, are probably the Financier and Forge of Tomorrow and Assembly Line. I think those are going to be the big hits. The biggest flop for me is probably the Anomaly and Pharaoh Skycruiser. This card I think is pretty close to unplayable. It's just really not a great card. I am really excited to see what people do with Jayce. I'm going to be trying him out later today when this posts on stream, and then obviously my YouTube video the next day is probably going to be Jayce themed. Spoiler alert. Might be Jayce themed for the next few days. I expect a lot of Jayce Lux immediately. So I'm going to try it once or twice, and then I'm going to try to move in other directions, see other regions. I want to just try to get a handle on how powerful Jayce is immediately, and then move on to what the best build is later. And I'm really excited about that. I have a Targon build kind of in mind. No, sorry, not Targon. A Freljord build kind of in mind. I don't think Targon would really work. Maybe it would, who knows. And obviously Lux, bunch of other stuff though, maybe some Shadow Isle stuff. Vengeance, by the way, is 7 mana. Ruination is 6/6. Yeah, so super stoked. Let me know if you guys think I was super off in the comments down below. Let me know what your favorite card is, what you're looking forward to seeing. If you have any sick ideas you want to toss down in the comments, I might check it out and try it on stream. Who knows? All right, that's all I got, guys.